Number 3, stop trying to be like the world. There are some churches that you can go to where the praise and worship and just the atmosphere is very similar to the club. Not this service today, not the praise and worship we had today. It's very different in this church and many other churches that are Bible-based. But there are some churches who work so hard to be like the world in order to win the world. You become like Jesus to win the world to him. 1 John chapter 2, verses 15 to 16. Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love for the Father is not in them. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, comes not from the Father, but from the world. And those 3 things, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, those were the 3 temptations brought by Satan to Eve. And they were the same temptations brought to Jesus in the wilderness. There was a pastor who I read about who travels a lot for speaking engagements. And he wrote about how he travels to many different hotels, but he never unpacks his suitcases in those hotels. He operates out of his suitcase. He never opens up the drawers of the hotel room and puts his clothes away. Why? Because he's not coming to live there. He's visiting the hotel for a day or 2. He doesn't unpack all his stuff because that room is not his home. Now he enjoys the hotel room, but he just doesn't get too comfortable in the hotel room. Whenever he travels out of the country, he doesn't learn the language of the country he's traveling to. He doesn't bother to spend a lot of time mastering the language of the culture because he's not staying there. He may be there for a day or 2 or maybe even a week if the country is far enough. But he doesn't invest much time and energy in language study because he knows he's not going to stay in that country. He's just going to visit. He's only there for a temporary period of time to do his business, and then he's going to catch a plane and leave and go to his real home. He's always conscious of home. He's always conscious of home when he travels. The problem with believers is that we make this world our home. Some of us have gotten too comfortable here on this planet. We unpack our bags and we become absorbed in the culture around us, forgetting that this world is not our home. I'm talking to Christians, remember. This world is not our home. We are only passing through. For those who say they follow Christ, it needs to be seen in how they live. It seems like so many Christians are trying to live as close to the world as possible. Sometimes they're even replicating the world behavior. My question is, God has saved you out of the world. Why are you fighting so hard to be consumed by it again? You know, it's even when you compare the Old Testament to the New Testament. In the Old Testament, there was heavy dependence on the high priest. Heavy dependence on the high priest because he was the go-between. He was the one who represented the people to God. But now we have a new high priest. Jesus is our high priest. He is the one that we go through to get to the Heavenly Father. But we are going backwards in the church when we start worshiping men. I have a whole message dedicated to this man of God, God's general. Oh, we have to worship the man of God. The message cannot go beyond the messenger. I'm going to talk about this in a few Sundays in deeper detail. I have to control myself when I do because that subject really gets to me. This man worship. We are going backwards when we are worshiping men more than we're worshiping God. And we're going backwards when we're settling on this planet trying to be like this world when we're called to be different. We are in this world, but we're not of this world. So Christians, stop trying to be like the world. Be like Christ. And you're going to stand out in this world.